Once upon a time, there lived three little pigs. Welcome to story time with VIP Kid. When you first open the classroom and you look at the slides, you might notice there are 70 slides. Ah! Don't panic. Before you get concerned about 70 slides, know that there are 14 slides where you tell a story. And in those 14 slides, you only take 4 minutes. Let's take a walk through some of the slides that the student will encounter in this lesson. The first three slides are the introduction and warm up, where you can get to know the student and put the student at ease, building some good rapport. Next, you'll enter into a picture walk of three slides. You'll look at the slides and find out what the student already knows and get the student's ideas of what might happen in the story and what might happen at the end of the story. After the picture walk, there are 14 slides that you get to tell the story. In telling the story, it's important that you can tell the story with great expression. You want it to be on your face, in your body language, and in your voice. After telling the story, you'll go through those three picture walk questions for a second time, this time seeing what the student understood or remembered from the story. Using rich TPR, props, and realia will help the student gain a better understanding of the vocabulary and retain it in their memory for a longer period of time. Here's a few of those key vocabulary words and phrases that the student can learn with some props, realia, or TPR that you might use. Straw, straw. Sticks, sticks. Bricks, bricks. Stew, chimney. Land quickly. Huff and puff. Once upon a time. Notice on the slides that each of the words and phrases are taught in the context of the story. But the big bad wolf huffed and puffed and blew the house down. Then you can have the student act and say the red word or phrase that's on the slide. Huffed and puffed. After learning keywords and phrases, the student will click a spinner and practice this vocabulary. By having rich TPR during the learning cycle, then the student, when they click and land on a vocabulary word, you can give some TPR to help them remember the word. Stew, good job. After learning the vocabulary and practicing, the students have an opportunity to listen to the story again. This is the comprehensive listening. It's important that as you go through the storytelling again, you use that rich TPR that you taught the students the vocabulary, because then they can associate the words they're hearing with the TPR and the meaning of the words that they have learned. Before listening, there is a read and think section. The students do not have to answer these questions. It's just reading the questions and thinking about while you go through the storytelling. After listening for the second time, the students answer 7 questions. These questions last about 30 seconds each. Be sure to pay attention to the timing for these slides. You can even use the little timer at the bottom to make sure you spend 30 seconds on each slide. Finally, you've come to the wrap up and extension, the end of the lesson. During this time, the students will think about the characters of the story and what these characters did. And finally, you come to the self-evaluation where the student can decide how well he knows the vocabulary, the phrases, and the comprehension skills. That's it. Now you're ready to tell a story at VIP Kid Storytime. Happy teaching!